Hey my dudes, this is a day in the life running a bakery from my apartment. Wednesdays are all about prepping for the week ahead. I always write out my to-do list for the whole week and stick it on the fridge so I can check things off day by day. I always scale out every single recipe on Wednesdays. It takes a surprisingly long time to just weigh up ingredients, so I like to get it all done at once so that the rest of the week I can focus on actually making and baking. The first thing I scaled out was the raspberry buns. All the dries and the butter go into these big bowls. I have to make 2 rounds of dough because one is just too big for my mixer. The butter and dries are left out so that the butter is room temperature when I go to mix. Also, because I've gotten this question a lot, butter, at least in Sweden, can sit out at room temperature for like days. I also scaled the filling for the buns as well as the fresh yeast and milk. Fresh yeast and milk do live in the fridge. They would go off if they sat out overnight. I labeled everything and put the dries on the speed rack. The next thing I scaled were the dries for the gifflar, or like Swedish crescent buns. They're brown sugar and buttermilk flavored this week, so I added brown sugar to the dough. There's a couple different types of brown sugar you can get in Sweden. Maybe I'll make a video about that at a different time. Anyway, next up was scaling out for the mini cakes. They are chocolate this week, and if you're wondering why I have 2 different boxes for flour or cocoa powder or even the sugar, it's because I don't have enough big bowls or big plastic containers, so I have to like break it up, which is a little inconvenient, but not as inconvenient as trying to store giant plastic containers somewhere in my tiny kitchen. Again, all the milk went into the fridge and all the dries got put on the speed rack. I moved on to scaling ingredients for thumbprints. Half of the flour is regular all-purpose and the other half is einkorn. I just love the flavor of einkorn. I feel like it gives the cookies a depth and almost like warmth of flavor. It's hard to explain, but it's delicious. I separated egg whites for Swiss meringue buttercream. I am really starting to collect a lot of egg yolk in my freezer that I need to use up. I scaled the sugar and the butter and labeled them and put them away. I made a cocoa pan release for the chocolate cakes. It's just equal parts by weight of cocoa powder, oil, and butter. Next, I scaled the 2 jams that I'll be making this week. I wanted to cook them today, but I was just too tired, so I'll do it tomorrow. The last thing I did was fold boxes. This is so critical because it takes way more time than you think it would, and I do not have that time the rest of the week. I got a few of the boxes done, and then Axel jumped in to help me so I could get done faster. He usually works on Wednesdays, so it was such a treat to have him here. We always have so much fun together. And that was it for the day. See you tomorrow. Hej då!